Got the new iPhones, and there's an orange one this year, which everyone seems to be most interested in, rightfully so, because, I don't know, there's never been an orange iPhone before. No more titanium, though, which I thought was interesting. It looks like, based on the model that I got a long time ago, like this pretty much happened exactly as we had imagined it would happen, and people were skeptical back when I showed this one off. Not exactly two-tone here, but you do have this glass panel, which is a bit of a departure from the typical scenario where you would have your singular backplate that people were used to. The other interesting thing here is it got fatter. So they got rid of the titanium, they did the aluminum unibody. And I can't say I care too much about that, especially since they also launched this. Like, they put out the Air model at the same time. So they're like, hey, if you don't want a fat phone, we got an extremely thin one for you. And I'm gonna dive into this one in the next video, as well as the new AirPods. But in this one, we'll do a quick comparison of the iPhone 17 versus the Pro and Pro Max. And the reason it's set up in this fashion is because I think a lot of people are already starting to say and starting to think that maybe the 17 is the actual value point and not these Pro models, because of how close things have gotten now from a performance perspective, now that you have the upgraded display on the standard 17. So you have far more brightness, you've got the Pro Motion, the cameras have been upgraded, the selfie camera has been upgraded, and the form factor is maybe the optimal one for battery life is supposedly better. Like, it just seems like there's a lot of improvements here that make it harder to justify the Pro model unless you want to jump into the extended storage and the ProRes stuff, and obviously the extra camera module. If you've been hanging on to an old device for a while, any of these are gonna feel like a massive upgrade, including the 17 standard. So let's start with this one. The only thing about the 17 standard is it doesn't immediately shout that it is a new iPhone. You know what I mean? Like, not like these ones do with this bizarre layout on the back. So they call it Sage. I don't mind it. That's another color I feel like I miss a little bit, but actually the green that I missed was that midnight green. They just got away from that immediately. So yeah, form factor wise, look at this. This is comfortable. It is lightweight, obviously. Can you spot the difference? Like, this is a little taller. Like, the screen got a little bit larger, right? So in the box, all you're gonna get is the braided USB-C cable. Is this even paperwork? Yes, they give you one little piece of paperwork. You no longer need a physical SIM card. And I still wish you had the SIM tray. It just makes it a little more convenient when you're switching phones extremely frequently. Will wants to do a little wobble test. We are steady wobbling on this guy. Another interesting note, there's no more Plus version. So if you wanted the bigger but cheaper phone, that's not a thing anymore. Maybe that's a way in which Apple is hoping to market the Pro Max, big phone, big price tag. I really believe this 17 is gonna be the seller, especially in this economy. But there's gonna be some cost sensitivity, and these things are, I mean, that price gets ratcheted up. That one's booted up, let's put it down. Now let's get to this orange one, the one that everybody is using in the thumbnail and the one that everyone is talking about. Color's interesting because it always signals a new model. Then if you're someone like me, you put a case on it, like you're gonna put a later case like this, and then how much of the color, what is the significance of the color? Not that significant. We even make these in a few different colors. It is nice to have a new color palette in case you decide to go caseless. Actually, you know what? I guess you do see some spots like this. And by the way, if you want to pick up a later case, you can order that right now for any of these models. 17, Pro, Pro Max, the Air, we've got them all over here. Especially for the Air, where you're going to want to maintain the thinnest profile possible. There's no other material that's going to achieve that for you other than this Kevlar right here. And speaking of Kevlar, we also launched a new cable. This thing is incredibly robust. Look at that. That's crazy. So anyway, this thing delivers a ton of wattage. It can be bent about 1 billion times, and it can also transmit video, 4K, 60 hertz. Anyway, yeah, check this out on the site as well. I'll have it linked down below. It's, you know what? It is very portable feeling for me. Like, I was using the Pro Max most recently. Obviously, that thing is a bit of a tank. So when you pick this one up, it's far more comfortable in one hand, but I'm just reflecting on that in this moment because I don't handle the standard model all that often outside of the initial unboxing, and who knows, maybe this time around, maybe this is the device I'll gravitate towards. Maybe I want maximum portability, I don't know, or maybe I'll just use the orange one because it's orange. And it is very orange. That's why we brought the orange. You see, it's orange, double orange. This is technically not an orange. What is this, a clementine? But anyway, you get the idea. So yeah, so look at that. It is a two-tone. It's more two-tone than it looks on the box, actually. It's more pale than the actual Clementine. I would say it's relatively pleasing. It does feel more like a slug though, like there's more to that. It's a more substantial feeling. And the Pro Max is probably gonna be even more so. Apparently it's a little heavier than the previous version. Battery life is supposed to be improved significantly. Like they're claiming 30 plus hours of video playback, which is all that Apple really gives you. It's very smooth and maybe slippery, not gonna lie. It's cool to the touch. It's aluminum unibody and apparently it's the first. Now obviously Pro Max, we're having the triple camera setup, we're getting the telephoto. So that's another big component if you're trying to weigh the difference between the two. Maybe you shoot a lot of video and photo and you just have to have the telephoto. Well then, you're back to the Pro or Pro Max price tag, whereas you're getting the ultra wide on the standard model. Maybe it does feel a little bit thicker. Here's the old model, titanium. And I have to admit, I'm a little upset that titanium didn't last. Anything titanium, I love titanium, but that's all right. This is what they do. Apple's gotta have a new model all the time. The other thing that's interesting is you have this slab now, this extruded section here, but it isn't completely flush, so you don't alleviate the wobble. I mean, you have less wobble. But if they would have built up this material right to the edge of the camera bezel, you could have had no wobble, but maybe it would have looked even more ugly. I don't know. So nonetheless, looking around the device, obviously, we have our camera control, our power, our volume, and our action button is there. And you know, that's another thing to mention. It sort of fits with the watch because the Ultra Watch has all the orange components to it, so kind of fits in a little bit. And they also have their new ceramic shield on the displays, which is supposed to give you an improvement when it comes to scratch resistance. Okay, now let's get into the big boy here. That's a big boy right there. Look at that. That is a tank. Yeah, I mean, it's subtle. I mean, it basically feels the same. But if you're buying a Pro model, you're prioritizing battery life, camera performance, you're willing to put up with something that's a little bit thicker. This is a nice color. The orange is called Cosmic Orange, by the way, because I didn't say the official color, and this is called Deep Blue, which yes, that's exactly what it is, and they're not using the word midnight anymore. So the other color, Silver, we don't have the official model, but this was the early one, and it kind of ends up looking like that anyways. I think this color will look good with once the later case is installed, actually. You have a little subtle deep blue showing off the edges, but then you have obviously your Kevlar pattern or whichever one you choose off the site. Oh, I should also mention in this moment, even though you do have this improved ceramic shield, you may want to put a screen protector on, and we have those as well at later case, and they're super easy to install. Now, one thing you probably noticed is that the packages don't contain any kind of power related accessories. They haven't for a really long time, but that's okay. We have many fantastic options, including a couple from our friends and partners at Ugreen. We have the MagFlow 10,000 milliamp hour magnetic wireless power bank, and there's also the 2-in-1 magnetic wireless charger. Obviously, these things have MagSafe built in. So this guy is a 2-in-1 magnetic charger, 30 watt max. It does actually include a USB cable, and it's this nice little brick. Look at that. Sweet. USB in, magnetic charging, slap it on. Lovely. Portrait, landscape, a little cutout for your AirPods, and another USB. So you can charge up your watch as well. Compact, and you can travel with that one. But if you want a built-in battery as well, that's where this comes in, 10,000 milliamp hour. Magnetic attachment, 25 watt, Qi2 certified. Of course, this will work with any device, not just the new iPhone. And I like the fact that this one has the built-in cable, so you don't need to remember to bring a cable. So in this case, the braided cable becomes the strap with which you can hold the device. But then they've gone ahead and included another USB cable as well. And what's cool in this case is you can actually still use your device while you're charging wirelessly, just like that. So you have the Qi2 25 watt wireless, you have the in-out USB-C, and then you've got the built-in cable as well, and a power switch and a display. This is useful, nice little feedback. Oh, I have 100%, cool, I'm good to go, take it with me. Check these guys out, they have so many accessories for your new phone or your old phone, and these ones specifically will work really well with the new iPhone 17, 17 Pro, and 17 Pro Max. All right, so I have them booted up here, and they are surprisingly similar, honestly, 17 and 17 Pro. The displays, the gap is not what it used to be, I'll tell you that. Slight advantage to the Pro, but my goodness, like barely. You would have to have them side by side. I'll say, like, this one feels lighter weight. Obviously, it's lacking that one camera and there's a battery difference, but it feels more comfortable one-handed comparatively. I've got the case on both of them. They're super slippery with nothing on there, so I recommend putting something on. So let's go ahead and launch into the cameras right away. This is the thing now, the selfie situation, how you can essentially create a landscape or a portrait without twisting the phone. So here, obviously I can easily get Will in the frame. To be able to have instant portrait versus landscape without awkward holding. Yeah, they really improved the selfie camera on the standard model. I'll tell you that right now. I think they kind of cannibalized the Pro model this time around. If we go ahead and switch our camera back around, you'll see on the Pro model, we have 0.5, 1x, 2x, 4x, 8. On the standard model, it's 0.5, 1 or 2. So here, 0.5 ultra wide, boom, 1x, boom, 2x, boom. Okay, then we're done for optical. On the other side, 0.5, 1, 2, 4, 8. So you can see some degradation on the 8 once you get up to the 8, but the 4 is great. I mean, then you don't have it here. Ultra wide looks extremely comparable, if not identical, very similar. If you go to the ultra wide, I can focus extremely close, right? I mean, that's pretty damn close focus. Comparable again. Comparable, brother. And in a way, the 17 is more fun to use because it's so light. Like, it's so comfortable to type on with one hand. This is one shooting environment. This is an initial reaction to the device, but it is kind of leading me to believe that the 17 is gonna be the one for most people. But you can't get it in orange. Could be a problem. Another difference, 4K 120. So this, again, the Pro model, you wanna shoot slow motion, you're gonna need it. So these are gonna be both on the 1X camera. I'm gonna just film them at the exact same moment. So this is a 4K 60 frame video clip. You are overly pink, and you're not pink at all in real life.
Yeah, I'm yellow.
Exactly. Well, no. Hey, man. Let's look at Otis. Otis is the same. Wow, that is funny. The 17 actually focuses faster. Now, maybe that's intentional so that the focus looks more like a smooth, like pull on the other one, on the Pro. And then close focus. Can you put your hand there again, but back it off slightly? Like back it off. Okay, leave it there. Stop. A little closer. Okay, we're done. Now, another thing I was curious about, I hadn't seen it in some of the videos I watched, was the audio performance, because that's another area that the Pro seems to always have an advantage, and the Pro Max even more so. So I got the brand new Meta Ray-Ban display glasses. I have played around with every version, and now they've released these brand new AI glasses with a display in them, glasses themselves. So the name is very straightforward. Meta Ray-Ban display. Satisfying. It's subtle. It's not a big deal. There might be a little more low end. Oh man, what am I discovering here today? They're too close. The improvement is not significant enough. I mean, outside of battery life, which would take me a while to really test. Again, if you're a power user, that might be a significant consideration, the battery life aspect. The price difference though, $799 to start versus $1099 to start. And imagine how many of these you could buy if you just get the standard 17. I mean, that would be my take. This is all very preliminary, but goodness gracious, they're just more close than they've ever been before. Obviously the chip is slightly different. Even the battery life, actually, now that I'm looking at Apple's spec, 33 hours versus 30, it's not that significant. Center stage front camera, the front camera's great on both of them. The rear camera's absolutely great on both of them. I don't need to shoot that much slow motion. The optical zoom is not there. I can live with that. Faster file transfer on the Pro variant, which again, you need to be shooting like that ProRes stuff, so you have much bigger file sizes, and then you start to take advantage. Obviously, you have bigger storage options in the first place. They both charge at 25 watts over wireless. Man, oh man. I guess I've probably said this in the past, depending on the generation. If you're not gonna use ProRes and those extra camera features, then just get the standard model. That's kind of the way I look at it. Even the battery life thing is not significant enough. Obviously, if you step all the way up to the Pro Max variant, then the battery gets another pretty massive boost, where they say video playback goes up to 39 hours. So that's kind of substantial at that point, but 30 versus 33, the thing's lightweight and comfortable in the pocket. The camera looks amazing, better than it's ever looked. The selfie camera looks better than it's ever looked. The display basically looks like the Pro display, and it's $300 cheaper to start. So this is a very preliminary thing, but I feel like that's where I'm at. I've got more videos coming up on this Apple stuff. I'm really curious to check out the new AirPods. I have them here. I have the iPhone official battery, which is most likely going to be used with this, the iPhone Air, which should be the weakest battery of the bunch. This is also just an interesting move for Apple. This will be my next video, the iPhone Air, so make sure to subscribe to check that one out. And also, if you're looking for a case for any of these new devices, and primarily the Air, I think you should be looking at these later cases. They keep your phone really slim, but they make it a little easier to hold, so not so slippery. And don't forget our friends at Ugreen who are making all kinds of cool chargers and accessories for these iPhones and other devices, including this one, which this would look good beside your bed as well. Just a little dock, charge multiple devices and still travel, so it's not too big. Or how about this guy, 10,000 milliamp hours a pack like that with a screen on it, built-in cable so you never lose it. So check them out as well, and I'll see you on the iPhone Air video coming up next.